officials this afternoon here in Southern California. Keith Kimball, he's officiated 7 Final Fours. Brett Smith, he has had 1 Final Four. Steve Devine, his 15th season. Our standby, Errol Lewis. So Long Island University, 24-10 record, and they were 15-3 in the Northeast Conference. Robbie, they were the regular season and the tournament champions.
Well, just a great story in the way that Rod Strickland has built this program. They had some continuity, 46% of their minutes returned, and now you see them playing, going up against one of the best teams in all of college basketball this afternoon.
And off the bat, the Sharks have got it.
Yeah, what has amazed me is LIU has traditionally been a school of New York kids. He's got 3 Canadians starting for him.
They're going to have to make some perimeter jump shots. They don't take a lot, but that would go a long way against this Arizona defense.
Davis with the scoop. Rebound by the freshman Pete. And here comes Jaden Bradley the other way for Arizona.
Well, Bradley was the player of the year in the Big 12.
Koa Pete grinding inside. Got his miss. And up and down.
And no surprise, Coach, Arizona is going to try to impose their will. Immediate post up for Koa Pete.
Absolutely, and their size and strength. Neither one of these teams is going to shoot many threes.
Fuller's got it now. Last time this team was in the tournament 8 years ago. They take it in. Jamal Fuller loses the ball. It goes back to Arizona.
Well, and you know, not many of us, you, Kevin, of course, you may remember Claire B, but most of us are too young.
I read the Claire B books.
That's exactly
right. He put
right.
out a huge volume of books.
Yes, he did.
On basketball. Here's Burries. As good a freshman as you'll find in the college game. Inside, on the doorstep, Karchenkov gets 2.
Well, Robbie and I, we talked yesterday. This is the guy who was a revelation to me, Karchenkov. Defends very well, probably their best defender, and can just do a little bit of everything.
Boy, and Coach, I think is a passer, a secondary creator, has shot the ball better the last couple of games, but he can get to the rim, he can make plays for others.
Goings, 3. Inside, collected by Karchenkov. Off the running. Bradley at the other end.
Well, that's just what you said, Karchenkov with that pass. LIU cannot afford to give those up.
Yeah, they've got to keep this game in the half court, but that is so much easier said than done with Arizona. Almost 16 fast break points a game. That's good for 18th nationally.
Malachi Davis will snake his way inside. And picked up, retrieved by the Sharks. A lot of size in there. The cutter can't get it. Goings. Here's another cutter who hammers it home. Nailed in by Gordon.
He's going to be a fearless player, Coach. This guy didn't play high school basketball, finds his way to JUCO, and now playing on the biggest stage.
Absolutely. He was the player of the year in the tournament, in the NEC tournament, to get him here, and the defensive player of the year in the conference.
There's a whistle down low. It's on Long Island University. They pick it up right there.
Well,
early
here's
in the
Arizona.
game, Lasso.
What you were talking about, Robbie. On the fast break, they don't get back. Great pass by Karchenkov. And then there it is, Gordon on the cut. And this is where LIU likes to score, also is in the paint. But that's going to be tough on a consistent basis against a team that is so much bigger.
Burries. It's a 3.
He is playing with so much confidence right now. 5 of his last 7 games with 20 or more. Just upped his level in conference play in Big 12 action, 38% from 3.
Yeah, look, I think the guy reminds me so much of Devin Booker.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty darn good comparison to make. And then Bradley, a great block.
Indeed, they run the other way. Bradley will set from 3.
He kind of got it going from 3 in that Big 12 final. Knocked down 2 of them, but it's Arizona's defense that's leading to their offense. Jaden Bradley from behind the play, and the Wildcats, they're looking to run.
A couple threes. Defense at one end. Bradley right there, knocking it away. And then the Cats are running and lining up. Bradley nails the triple. Back in San Diego, taking a look at advanced stats presented by Invesco QQQ.
Well, and no surprise, Arizona with 6 points in the paint already. They average 42 of them. Look for the Wildcats, Coach. They are going to, every time they can, look inside and look to exploit their size.
Greg Gordon's got it right now. Leading scorer MVP of the recent tournament. He'll take it down the lane and get it to go.
That is a hard drive. And look, they've got three guys with Malachi Davis and Fuller who can get the ball to the basket off the dribble. Three great creators.
And I think, Coach, this is a big game for Arizona in terms of just checking your own man. It's Gordon, it's Davis, it's Fuller. They're going to look to put it on the floor, as you said. They're going to be aggressive, and they are going to get their game on. They are looking to get buckets.
Hey, look, we've seen them play four Power 4 opponents during the year. They do not change the way they play. This team will show no fear, even of a great team like Arizona.
Bradley was out on goings, and here's the two-point try. Pete tries to gobble up the ball, and he comes the other way for the Wildcats. Regular season and tournament champions in the rugged Big 12. Three right here. It's down the drain. Burries.
If they're going to make threes, Robbie, on top of their size advantage, this is going to be a tough afternoon for LIU.
That weak side help, Coach, it's just a simple look into the post. They know they've got to give help, and that leaves Burries all alone.
Arizona has started 3 of 3 from 3. With the shot clock at 9, a move here by Fuller. A lot of traffic, knocked away inside, Krivas.
Not too many guys Krivas' size in the NEC.
This team beat Houston in that Big 12 tournament championship game in Kansas City. Plenty of time. Brantley from 3. Inside, Krivas fouled as he was shoved from behind. There's size advantage in Arizona right now, flexing that advantage.
Well, look, it's going to be all day, like Robbie said it. They love to get in the paint. This is the third freshman in that great trio. And then from the outside, another freshman knocking it down. Arizona by 11.
A little less than 5 minutes into this one. Arizona has been terrific from 3. 3 have gone down from distance.
Well, look, they're a pretty good three-point shooting team. They're just a low-volume three-point shooting team. But if you're going to load up, Robbie, like we've seen on their post players, they're going to get open threes, and they can make them.
They will have opportunities. And, 10:35 a.m. local tip, maybe some concerns about a slow start. None for Tommy Lloyd.
That's a good point. It's 10:30 now, 10 to 11 here, but it's in the morning.
Just channel your AAU basketball. That's what you
exactly,
did.
that's
Got
all
the
it is.
McDonald's and rolled over and played. I'm guessing Arizona didn't have McDonald's this
I
morning.
think what's more impressive is the crowd at 10:35 in the morning.
Here.
Great energy in this building.
Gordon on top.
Nice
pass, good cut. Knocked away inside, Pete. And saved by the Sharks. Fuller over to the side. Davis, 3, no. It's a rebound inside and collected there by Miranda, and they get it to go.
Well, LIU's a very good offensive rebounding team at their level, but it's so hard. You see them drive the ball to the rim, and then that size just swallows them up.
And no surprise to see Miranda. Before the NEC final, he had not played in 15 games, but they need that size.
What a pass. Wow, indeed.
I mean, what a pass by Krivas. I love that guy. He's got great hands, obviously great size, but this is a skilled player who we're going to be watching for a lot of years.
And so efficient. They take it in. Krivas the block. Arizona has made 7 shots on 6 assists. Incredible efficiency.
Just a great start all around. And when you've got Krivas there, second in the Big 12 in blocks, patrolling the paint, that's going to help your defense and go a long way.
Karchenko, Krivas. And they go inside. The pressure there. The foul on Miranda defending the rim for Long Island University.
I mean, this pass, Robbie, is just incredible. He sees this right now. Krivas sees it now.
Wow.
And just tips it to Pete on the cut. That's outstanding basketball.
With a hockey assist.
Yes, it is. And a lot of the time with Arizona, you better be ready for high lows. You better be ready for duck-ins. And with Krivas right there ducking in, and you've got Pete on the roll, that's a really hard action to guard.
Krivas was first team all Big 12. Krivas was also an all defensive player. There's the first pass, the tip, and the 2.
Just the vision, and to see that ahead of time.
Man.
I mean, this is a skilled guy. Look, he's 79% at the free throw line, too.
So you feel like that might eventually extend out.
Right, we were watching him shoot yesterday. He's eventually going to be able to shoot the 3.
He's from Lithuania. He is a junior, 7'2". Played a lot of international basketball, and that'll trickle in. Watch every men's game live on your computer, your phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Download now to stay up to date on all the action as Krivas will take a seat.
What a reprieve for LIU that Krivas goes to the bench and only the best offensive rebounder in the country comes in Tobe Awaka.
Yeah, this is Arizona's version of a small lineup,
Yeah,
right?
It's a Fuller three. Oh, off the glass.
Did he call it?
I don't know, but it doesn't matter.
Nice shot for the senior from Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
And you said it in the pregame. He was the leading three-point shooter in the NEC at 43%.
And not the highest volume guy, but with Arizona, if they're going to play drop or they're going to be in the hedge, pick and pops will be there.
It's another three for Burries.
That's his third one. Look, this guy is a great player. We're going to see him drafted in the lottery, and he's really getting it going as the season's gone on. He got off to a slow start, Robbie.
And just to kind of see him mature and fit in with this group. The thing about Arizona, there's so many weapons out here. It doesn't have to be your turn every night. They have so much talent offensively.
That was a nice stroke. Porter Brown puts it in from the outside, a triple there.
But Coach, I really like the way he's played here. 3 of his last 4 games in double figure, now 8 of his last 13 from 3.
And you said it, they're a low-volume three-point shooting team too, but they need to make some today against this huge Arizona team.
Aristode. Nice leaping rebound inside by Awaka. Lot of traffic, swiping at the ball, picked up by the Sharks. Here they come with Fuller.
What a play by Porter Brown to block that from the backside.
He was trying to dive, rebounded by Aristode the other way. Saved there by Gordon, but right back to Arizona. Burries. Nice handle inside. Good block by Fuller. And they come the other way. Malachi Davis on the fly and a floater on the fly. It's clutched onto by Pete.
Well, look, LIU was 10th in the country in blocks. We've seen a couple in the last couple of possessions.
A walkout.
Oh, that's got to be a defensive rebound. That's a backbreaker for LIU.
Wow, it really is. And now a possible three-point play. Miranda just lost the handle.
The freshman from the Netherlands, Dwayne Aristode, puts it up and in with a lot of contact inside.
It's not like Arizona needs any help getting to the offensive glass. That has got to be closed down by Miranda. But Dwayne Aristode in the right place at the right time. And Arizona off to a hot start here in San Diego.
Well, so far, VCU and Phil Martelli Jr. with a terrific win over North Carolina. High Point in Nebraska, first program wins in the tournament. But look at that, 18th consecutive tournament, 3 teams or more, seeded 10 or worse, winning in the first round. Tommy Lloyd moments ago with our Lauren Shahadi.
Coach, controlling on both ends. What do you like most about the fast start?
I mean, our guys made a few shots early, and, you know, we were able to protect the rim a little bit, but it's a long game. I mean, they scored a few shots in there. We got to figure out, they're getting the loose balls, and they're cutting, so we got to figure out these late cuts and how to guard them.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you.
So in Tommy Lloyd's 5 years as the coach at Arizona, he's been a #1 seed twice, a #2 seed twice, and a 4 seed. It's a pretty good resume to start.
It sure is. Well, he's got the most wins in the first 5 years of any coach in NCAA history. That's not bad.
Yeah, I guess the next step is just getting to that elusive Final Four. It's a good problem to have when your defense has held a team to 5 of 16 from the field, and you can get a little bit nitpicky. Arizona's defense, though, on the year in the paint has been totally elite.
Miranda had just picked up his second personal foul on the bench now. Fuller kicks it on the wing.
But their standard's so high.
Yes.
They're not thinking of just beating. Tommy Lloyd's not thinking the defense just to beat LIU.
No
it's
doubt.
the defense we have to play to win a national championship.
Gordon on the fly, could not get it to go. Arizona the other way, a team that began this season 23-0. Lost a couple. Now they come in having won 9 straight. Good feed at the rim, met right there. Foul called as he was skying.
Boy, Coach, I love the ducking because it takes away all of the help on the roll. It's such a hard action to guard, especially if you're undersized. Look at Pete, and now you've got to walk a rolling all the way to the rim. That helped defenders getting blown up. Greg Gordon has got to be more active there at being in to take away that roll man, but they're putting you in a real bind. That's good action by Arizona.
It really is, and that's actually action had sort of disappeared in the pro game. Everybody wants to be spread on those pick and rolls.
Yeah, we used to see this
actually
short.
makes it tougher.
Absolutely. That short has kind of gone away. That was a 2000s type thing.
Lasso picked up his second foul for the Sharks. Tobe Awaka at the line from Cardinal Hayes High School in Hyde Park, New York, a former Tennessee Volunteer. He was just named the Big 12 Sixth Man of the Year.
Well, he's rebounded at really a historic rate here. His offensive rebounds per 40 minutes are unbelievable.
And then they got Krivas coming back in, started off the bench there and puts it up and in.
Krivas is just too big out here right now. Tobe Awaka can really move his feet too.
Lasso, 3, rebound, Goings. It's Porter Brown launching and nailing a triple.
That's his second one.
Yep.
And Porter Brown is a very good scorer and certainly one of it, if not their best three-point shooter. Maybe not by percentage, though he's close to 40%.
Oh, Awaka!
That's again, though, Krivas, he is just wiping out all of the help there with that duck in the middle of the floor.
Well, his guy should technically have the roll man on that, but he doesn't want to leave Krivas in the middle of the paint.
Porter Brown for another one! Holy smokes! He has been a machine with 9 points so far.
And last season, he's playing at Indian River Junior College. You're stepping up to the brightest lights, and he's getting it done.
Awaka from 3, rebound Gordon. Here comes Long Island University, a program record 24 wins this season. 3, Porter Brown. He flew at that time and digging it out over there. Davis on all fours and out of bounds. It will be Long Island's ball.
I'll tell you, this Long Island team is scrappy, but here we are on Arizona again. That duck in you talked about, Robbie, takes the help out of the play, and Awaka just with the dunk. But this LIU team, they get after it.
Absolutely. And sometimes, Coach, you see the 16 seeds and you're looking at a team at Arizona and they don't look like they believe. That's not the issue with LIU. This team is leaving it all out there on the floor.
Well, they've won 18 of their last 21 since the start of January. After a 6-7 start, it can't be said enough what a great job head coach Rod Strickland has done in his 4 seasons, climbing every season more wins and then more wins as we step aside on TNT. We're back in San Diego. 32 chefs compete in a bracket competition. Only one will taste victory. Watch an all-new Tournament of Champions Sunday night, 8 o'clock on Food Network.
Well, you know what? I want to be a judge for that.
I'd love that.
I just want to be a judge.
Kevin, you've had a lot of great promo reads in your career, but that was high level for you right there.
Oh,
the evil laugh.
It's a sinister competition. Here we got Gordon coming the other way for the Sharks from the Northeast Conference. Regular season tournament champions, it's Davis. And the shot clock is down to 6 with 9.5 to go in the first. Lee, and picked off on the pass, and picked off by Bradley. The other way, a player on the ground. Wow.
He didn't need to push off there either.
Bradley.
He could have just blasted that thing to the rim. I understand the guy's right on him, but he didn't have any reason to do that, and he did extend the arm, and a good call.
And Chinyi Lee has got to shoot the babasketball.
He does, and he can shoot the ball.
He can shoot it. You get that late clock, you have got to put that thing up.
He's a transfer from Manhattan for Long Island University. Gordon found a gap. Here comes Lee, lumbering. Oh, knocked away Krivas. Got a hand on it, third block for him, and here comes Bradley the other way.
You're just driving into the trees. You stay at that 15-foot of that three-point line, you've got a wide-open shot.
Did you see that collision?
Chinyi Lee just popped Krivas. I mean, my gosh.
We could feel that over here. Boom! Krivas is huge.
They're going to take a look at this. They are going to look at this.
That's not a basketball play.
It is not, and I think this will be a flagrant.
Agreed.
It was certainly unnecessary.
And excessive, perhaps.
We'll get another view right here with 9:02 to go.
Previous call is under review for a possible flagrant act. Let's look at this.
Well, but you said it at the other end too, Robbie. We'll get to that in a minute. But here it is. I mean, yeah. I mean, and he just was so casual about it. He just hits him and then he turns around like, okay, let's go.
Him. Yeah, that's.
So Gene Steratore is our rules analyst. He's been watching. And Gene, what'd you see here?
Unnecessary, excessive, both meet the description on that play. And then the acting job, as you guys said, where he acted like he really didn't do anything. I don't think there's any question that we go to a flagrant one here, guys.
Well, you see the shove. He was hoping maybe no one else saw it.
After further review, personal foul will be upgraded to a flagrant 1 foul. Arizona will shoot 2 and get the ball on the baseline with 24 on the shot clock.
It's on the junior from Beijing, China, Xinyi Li. He's only played 7 games this season as you take a look at the different verifications here with the flagrant 1 and the flagrant 2.
But he has played more in the last 5. He has played in 4 of the last 5 games. So he is a part of this rotation here in the postseason.
So here's Krivas at the line. Only played 8 games last year because of a foot injury. But boy, has he flourished this season. Terrific in every way.
Well, he is. He's huge, but he's got great hands and great touch. And we saw the pass earlier. Tremendous feel for the game. He's an outstanding defender, Robbie. You and I were talking yesterday. You know, that drop defense on pick and rolls is hard to play. I compare his defense a little bit to Brook Lopez as one of the best drop defenders I have seen, maybe the best I've seen in college.
Well, I think that the exciting thing, he has taken 12 threes on the year. He's made 4 of them, but you see that kind of progressing and being a guy that as he gets to the professional ranks, maybe he is a guy that spreads the floor at a higher level.
Well, one thing the scouts always look at is free throw percentage. Because if you can shoot the ball, then it's just a matter of stretching it out. He's a 79% free throw shooter.
It's Del Rosso inside. And coming up, grabbing it, Awaka.
That's the scary thing. At times, Arizona's best offense is just get it on the rim and let Awaka and Krivas do the rest.
Yeah, Awaka. Look, if we don't see Awaka in the NBA, we're going to see him in the NFL, Kevin. You're going to be calling his games. We've had a history of a lot of big guys becoming NFL tight ends. Toby Awaka may be the next one.
Just saw Davis with the burst down the lane. Foul went on Awaka, number 1.
Well, he's just relentless. Almost 18 offensive rebounds per 40, which is the most in the Big 12 by any player since 2002, 2003. His motor is just remarkable.
Jomo Goings will inbound. He's out of Washington, D.C. Sneaks it into Gordon. Knocked away right there by Del Rosso.
Well, we're talking about the NFL thing, Kevin. I mean, Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, Jimmy Graham.
Oh, there are a lot of players, exactly.
And I look at Toby Awaka, and I'm saying if he doesn't make it in the NBA, why not Toby Awaka?
A good late switch there by Krivas to shut that Gordon drive down.
And inside, Goings tries to put it up. Rebound, Krivas. Here come the Wildcats. In the Big 12, they were 16-2. Nice feed. Krivas got it inside, rejected. All ball, they thought, with Davis.
But the interior
draws the foul.
Interior passing of Arizona has been a clinic, coach.
Right, we saw Krivas get one earlier. Now he's the recipient. Awaka, but they've got Miranda in such a tough spot. You illustrated it, Robbie. They've got 2 guys back, and that's a clean block.
That was a clean block.
That's a clean block.
And you mentioned LIU being top 10 nationally in blocks. It's a lot of times not necessarily their front court. Those guards are flying in to get a piece.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. This is a great defensive play. You can't get it cleaner than that. I don't know what they were looking at there. There's not even contact after he got the ball. Not surprisingly, though, the crowd agreed with the call.
It's a heavy Arizona contingency.
It is. Well, when you're the number 1 seed You got the coach of the year. You got 3 freshmen who are as good as any freshman on any one team in college basketball.
Yeah, the highest scoring trio, freshman trio in the country at 43 a game.
Just
one
amazing.
of only 2 teams that has 3 double-figure scoring freshmen.
With the move here is Davis thrashing his way, throws it away. Bradley's got it. With numbers, a trailer. Look out for Pete. Knocked away, side-swiped. On the play by Porter Brown. With 7:43 to go in the first half, it's number 1 against number 16 in the first round on TNT. We're back in San Diego, 34-18, Arizona on top. FIU playing a fearless brand of basketball. They have left it all on the floor. And they are great, tough-nosed, hard-nosed kids. They're coached by Rod Strickland, and Lauren caught up with them moments ago.
Coach, your guys are fearless. How do you keep Arizona in the half court?
Well, we got to defend them. You know, the bigs are ducking in, they're getting high lows, and they're throwing the ball back to the big. So we just got to defend.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate
So
it.
Stan Van Gundy was talking with us before the game, and you scouted a lot of kids, recruited a lot of kids in your time as a coach in high school.
And Rod Strickland's still the best high school player I have ever seen.
That's a big statement.
And he played for our colleague, Steve Lapis.
That's right.
I mean, but just outstanding. And even as you go forward, I mean, like, I think he's one of those guys people forget about. You know, here it is in high school. There's Steve Lapis, his coach. They won the public school league. Rod Strickland, number 11, just a great player. One of those guys you forget how great he was, but he's 14th all-time in the NBA in assists, 35th in steals, and the best below-the-rim finisher I've ever seen as now LIU goes zone to try to change the rhythm on this Arizona team.
You know, for Coach Lapis, you coach guys like Rod Strickland, you get good suits. He was looking good back then.
He sure did.
It's a 3 with 1 to fire, and it's down the hatch. Korchenkov.
Well, look.
Over on CBS, Santa Clara and Kentucky are coming down to the wire. Wow. It's Brown on the drive. In the corner, 3, missing it all. Mason Porter Brown, who's hit a lot from outside to start this game, and it's Burries the other way for the top seed Wildcats.
Well, Porter Brown's been boomer bust. He's made
Intercepted.
3 and shot 2 air balls in his last 2.
Gordon with the pick. Look at him rocket to the rim. Nice play. Puts it in.
That's what he's looking to do. When he can get out in transition, he's so effective, 70% on those types of shots in the open floor. But he's splitting the defense, and he is going right at you.
6.5 in the half. Holy smokes again. Pete was right there and parachutes in.
Well, Fuller lost Pete. He got behind Pete in the zone, and they were able to throw the lob. And look, LIU's gone zone, a good adjustment to try to make, but they don't play a lot of zone, so they're not great in it.
How about 18 points in the paint already for the Arizona Wildcats?
The double Fuller. It's knocked away. The freshman Koa Pete from Chandler, Arizona.
You see him back here behind the defense. Fuller just doesn't see him. He gets behind the defense. A great place to attack that zone.
They're going to check and see who the ball was off of. There's 6:05 to go in the first. So this Arizona team reached the #1 position in the polls in mid-December. They began the season Arizona at number 13. Let's watch it again.
It looks like Fuller just dribbles this right out of bounds.
I don't think the ball ever hit Pete. That's going to end up being Arizona ball.
And coming into the game, you guys were in unison.
Ruling on the court, ball out of bounds, been challenged by Arizona's head coach.
And you said for LIU, they couldn't turn the ball over. They had to make threes, which they kind of have, but they've also got a rebound. And for Arizona, you thought pound the ball inside, work on the glass. Bradley the key. They've checked every box the Wildcats have so far as we step aside. They've looked at the play, and we're going to find out what they found out.
After review, Arizona's head coach challenge ill-successful. It'll be Arizona basketball on the baseline, 30 seconds on the shot clock.
Coach, I'm really intrigued. Would you ever challenge in the first half because it limits your ability late in games? Maybe not in a game like this, it won't matter, but in a game that's close, would you do this?
You know what? That's a great question. I don't think that I would, because I don't think the possession is that big a deal here in the first half. But I know the guys in the NBA that study all these challenges. The most important thing is get the ones you know you can win.
Yeah.
And that was an obvious one. The guy behind the bench caught it. We're going to win this. So at least you've got it. Losing the challenges really hurts you.
Right. But it's just like if you're in a close game and you get a possession out of that, but then you can't challenge a critical call. That will be fascinating in the tournament to see if that unfolds.
Pete DeBurys, and the rebound is yanked down by Porter Brown.
Well, that was Pete's second great pass to the weak side against the zone. This one doesn't go down, but if Arizona's going to make those threes, which they have today, they're almost unbeatable.
And think about it, Coach. If you go 2-3 against Arizona, they have so many guys that can flash to the high post and create for others.
Porter Brown fading away, 3 to fire. Rebound, Krivas. He's got 4 boards and 3 blocks. A little shimmy move here by Bradley. Oh, look at that try, then hammering it home. Burries.
I just think this guy's a heck of a player. I know he had a slow start to the year, but he's found himself now in the Big 12, and he's just continuing to get better as this season goes on. He could become one of the best players in this NCAA tournament.
I love that push by Bradley. That defense goes with him. You kick it out. It's not there for you, but it's there for the next guy.
Fuller 3, Burries the rebound. Arizona on the move. Arizona's made it to the Sweet 16 3 of the last 4 years. That is the #1 seed. Here they go inside. Pete.
Boy, what a catch.
Krivas. Vacuumed in. Karchenko. A floater on the fly. Knocked away. Miranda picked up inside Arizona. And Karchenko got it. Burries 3. Book it.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. That's his 4th 3 of the day. That one from deep.
It's a 16-2 Wildcat run. 4 to go in the first half. Owings a shot wouldn't go.
And what a luxury. You get turned down, and Krivas is just right there waiting to force a tough mid-range.
Karchenko. Another great feed.
Wow, great pass by Bradley and a great run by Karchenko. And then a beautiful left-handed finish. Arizona by 27.
And the Wildcats are flexing their muscles here in San Diego. Braden Burries getting it done from 3 at the rim. An 18-2 Wildcat run. They are putting on a show here in this first half.
Yeah, complete coverage of the NCAA Division I. As the game summary, you can see right there, and in the paint in particular, Arizona over LIU.
Not a big surprise there. This is what Arizona does. The threes are a bonus for them.
It's Fuller with a 3.
He's been quiet here in this first half. 8 straight games in double figures. LIU's got to find a way to get him more active in their offense.
Well, the problem for LIU, they've made 5 threes, so they're happy with that. The problem is they are, like Arizona, want to score in the paint. They just can't do it against this Arizona front line.
Well, and every advantage that Arizona had coming in has just been accentuated in such a large way.
Delorso inside, and look who he finds, Owaka again.
But look, this is why Arizona, to me, is so consistent at 32-2. Their game's not volatile. It's not dependent on three-point shooting. They're going to go in the paint and on the glass.
And
you
Goings
can
underneath.
do that all night.
Well, on top of that, Coach, they've got an elite defense. And when you combine all those things with the free throw line, the offensive rebounds, the dynamic guard play, there's a lot to like about Arizona.
And there's Owaka with another offensive rebound.
And give him 9 on the missed 3. There's something else. And Fuller, who's their leading scorer. Maneuvering right here, Caleb Johnson. off the bench and nails one.
Well, he hasn't scored in 2 games, and it's not a great recipe against Arizona to go off no or 1 passes, but Caleb Johnson goes glass and gets that thing to go.
Yeah, they've had interesting use of the glass here in the first half.
Aristode, Awaka with a Fuller deflection, but they go inside. Pete was there, shoved and fouled by the Sharks defense. Want to remind you, get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I women's tournament on NCAA.com. Caleb Johnson picks up his first with Pete at the line.
Well, we've seen it so many times already today, the big-to-big passing. These guys really look for each other and do a great job. All of them, Awaka, Pete, Krivas, all pass the ball.
And I love, Coach, that they'll lean into that high-low. It's kind of old school smash mouth, but with the size and bodies they have in their front court, why not?
Well, Tommy Lloyd came from being an assistant at Gonzaga, and obviously they've done that for years.
Absolutely.
Under Mark Few, that high-low game.
Arizona has attempted 15 free throws in the first half, and Long Island University none so far.
Well, that's what we were saying, Kevin. Paint, offensive rebound, get to the free throw line, things that you can count on night in and night out, because you're gonna have bad shooting nights.
Gordon taking it in. Pete picks it up. Coming up on AT&T at the half. Get all the scores and highlights, plus the latest NCAA tournament news. All coming up on AT&T at the half. 1:38 to go here in the first half. All Arizona.
Well, Arizona's approach has been outstanding today. They did not take this team lightly. They have been focused and disciplined and given them the respect that they deserve, which is what allows you to play as well as they have today.
And you can see why teams are shooting 53% on shots at the rim against this defense. Everything is contested by the Wildcats.
The miss by Pete, and out of bounds. It will be the Sharks' ball.
This is Rod Strickland at DePaul. All-American, great player, got him to the NCAA tournament. I have never seen a finisher like Rod Strickland, who wasn't a guy who could go above the rim. Everything was below the rim, but he was an unbelievable finisher. He had every shot in the books.
Davis tries to crowbar his way inside, and it was picked up in there. Goings couldn't get it. The other way flying Burries with a rebound by Davis, and they're going to run, and they've got some numbers, and on the wing they get it to Goings, who finds Caleb Johnson.
Well, that's
good
great.
execution.
Yes, excellent in transition. They need to get more of that.
It's making the play for the next guy. Because of the rim protection, you jump stop, you shot fake, you make that play for the next player.
Of course, to do that, you've got to get stops and rebounds,
That's right.
and the rebounds in particular have been very, very difficult to get. This is what I love about Burries, though, as they run down for the last call. When Daniels is on the bench, Burries can play the point. Reminds me so much of Devin Booker.
Braden Burries bumping into Fuller, who grabs the loose ball. And the final seconds of the half. Here goes Fuller, galloping, flying, falling, foul. It's a charge.
Well, IU, they want to play in transition. They themselves are a team that's in the top 30 in college basketball of it playing in transition. You draw that help, you drop it off. That's a really nice play to set the table for Caleb Johnson.
Long Island University led the NEC in fast break points and saw a bit of it there. The other way, long shot would have counted had it fallen for Del Orso. And that takes us to halftime here in San Diego. So Arizona's lead as high as 27 as the #1 seed takes on the 16. This is Arizona's largest halftime lead in an NCAA tournament game since 1998. They are all business.
Well, and you look at what their advantages were coming in. They played to their strengths, and like you said, Coach, their approach this morning, phenomenal.
Let's send it over to Lauren Shahadi.
Braden, 4 threes. How are you not nervous as a freshman in this tournament?
You know, my teammates just give me the confidence I need. You know, a lot of reps in the gym. So.
I mean, I hear 20, 30 of your family and friends in the stands. How did their support help you get here?
You know, they've been here with me the whole way, so just thankful for them, and just got to finish the game.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Kevin, hometown kid.
Yep, he is the number 9 high school player in the country a year ago and an all Big 12 first-team member. We're going to take you to AT&T at the half. After these messages, you're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. Gorgeous day here in San Diego. Let's take a look at the Wendy's first half statistics. The shooting of Arizona, the free throw disparity, and in rebounding plus 14.
Well, look, it's everything we talked about with Arizona. Points in the paint, get to the line, get to the offensive glass, and then as a bonus, they make 6 threes.
And I think for Tommy Lloyd, you're always concerned about maybe coming out and being a little bit stagnant. That was not an issue for the Arizona Wildcats tonight.
Moments ago, Lauren caught up with the Long Island senior, Greg Gordon.
Greg, I see you saving that ball in the tunnel and then getting a block. How does that fight get you back into this game?
I'm just trying to go out there and sacrifice everything on the court, you know, and sacrifice my body and do whatever it takes for my team to get the best advantages.
You said you don't back down. You ready for another 20 or what?
I'm ready for another 20. There's no fear in my eyes, so I'm ready.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Let's roll, man. That's what they're saying. Keep at it.
I love that. And their approach has been as good as you could expect. They have played hard. They have not backed down. The size difference has been way too much.
Well, and we wondered, could they make threes? They're 5 of 11 from the three-point line. The problem, guys, they're 7 of 23 on twos. And this is a team that wants to live in the paint. Arizona, a very, very tough matchup in that regard.
So here we go, beginning the second half with Arizona. These two teams are led by coaches of the year in their respective conferences. Well coached with the 1-16 matchup to get this first round underway. Krivas down low, size advantage, shot clock at 7.
Oh,
a swarm of defenders, and what a pass. Indeed, finishing it off, Koa Pete.
Well, you got to bring the double, but then you've got to have somebody cracking down. Krivas has put on a show today with his passing coach.
Well, there's no question. I think he has shown some things that maybe not everybody has seen before. That's his second just incredible pass of the day.
Fuller 3 hits the deck, rebound retrieved by Bradley.
That's a foul.
And Bradley will have a burst and find some room to fire.
Can't run away from the ball. And Jaden Bradley puts so much pressure on your defense.
Long Island, 3rd most wins in the history of their program over the last 50 years. A 3. Lasso can't get it. Retrieved and saved by Davis. A new shot clock. Goings will try to chisel.
Well, if your 5 cannot shoot the ball, Krivas is going to stand in that paint all day long.
Corkscrew move inside right here. Can't get it to go with Lasso.
Well, the interior passing of Arizona has been on display, and Krivas is going to be backing you down. This double is going to come over late from Fuller. And you can see Malachi Davis. Also, you've got Lasso. Somebody's got to crack down. Koa Pete, the easiest basket of his day.
Yeah, Malachi Davis has got to be down there. They've had the same problem on pick and rolls. Their weak side guy in the corner, the lowest weak side guy, has not come in.
Here's Greg Gordon at the line. Hey, Lauren, what's that fins up all about?
I got to tell you, so this gym is a who's who, right, Kevin? But David and Cameron, 2 LIU super fans, among the most famous here. Huge college hoops fans. They went to their first Sharks game back in 2023. They said we were sitting next to Rod Strickland, and the gym was empty. So we thought, how can we generate excitement? And that's how Fins Up came to be. Every time you saw it, LIU goes to the line. Either David or Cameron yells Fins Up. The band now synchronized with them, bangs the drum on cue, and they have asked me countless times, how do we get the legend Kevin Harlan to call Fins Up one time? I told them you're available. I took 10%.
Good, we'll appreciate that. Thank you.
Hope you're okay with it.
Or maybe fins down.
I will say, I looked around the arena during that free throw. There was Arizona fans doing Fins Up. So
I like
it's sweeping the nation.
It's great. It's great. The Sharks from Brooklyn, New York, even though it's LIU, Long Island University.
Well, and I'm glad they kept that name because now we know we're playing the iced tea game, Kevin.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Arizona against Long Island.
Big rivalry
It's
there.
perfect. If they were named Brooklyn, it wouldn't work.
Malachi Davis with a 3 and 2 to fire. And the rebound, Krivas pulls it down, 5 of them for him with Burries at the tip of their offense. Marchenko sneaks it inside. Pete.
I love his turnaround jumper and his pull-up, Coach.
I do too, and I love Karchenkov. You mentioned it earlier as a secondary ball handler. His eyes are always up. As soon as he catches the ball, when he's handling, he's always surveying the floor.
Taking it inside and then kicking it back out. Here's a 3 off the rim. Lasso couldn't get it. Flying the other way. Burries right to the hole. Shoved and fouled.
Well, on display right there, why Burries, top 3 in the Big 12 in fast break points per game. He is putting a lot of pressure on Long Island to get back.
He took a little bit of a spill here. Takes
Fuller
the foul and then sort of stumbles a little bit. I haven't seen everybody in Europe, Robbie, but in my opinion, this is the best college guard prospect
I'm with you.
here in the United States.
I totally agree.
80% free throw shooter. All-tournament team in Kansas City for the Big 12. First round coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship begins today on the ESPN networks. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com.
And is Gino Auriemma going to get another undefeated national championship season? What he has done at UConn, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's probably, I don't want to be sacrilegious, and I grew up in California, UCLA fan, but it's probably surpassed what John Wooden did at UCLA.
And that's saying something.
It really is, especially for me. I grew up a huge UCLA fan. I mean, I know it's hard for people to believe that I'm old enough to remember those teams, but I am.
Oh, no, it's not that hard. No, don't worry about that, Gordon. There's a foul called. And they put it on Pete, number 2.
Now watch Karchenkov. His eyes are up the whole way. He's looking at Krivas. He sees Fuller start to rotate a little bit. He goes to Pete. Head is always up, always surveying. And he might be better at this end of the floor defensively than he is even offensively.
He's a freshman from Munich, Germany. He's played a lot of international games. That'll be saved by Gordon. And here they go attacking. That is a 3, and it's right down the middle. Got a good shot. Mason Porter Brown. He has hit 4 threes for the Sharks.
The feast or famine continues here, Coach. When he's been on, he's been great. When he's been off, it's been air ball, but he was on that one.
Krivas, they knocked it away. Everywhere he looked, he saw powder blue, and racing the other way, and on the fly, Goings, no. Got his own miss. Keeps it alive. Tries again. Hits the deck. Foul.
Give LIU credit here, even though the score is what it is. They've continued to compete. They've continued to get to the offensive glass. And Mason Porter Brown, another game here in double figures. That makes 4 of his last 5. Strong close to his season.
You know, I talked about this earlier, Coach, about Rod Strickland now in his 4th year. He has increased the win total for the Sharks over the past 4 years from 3 to 7 to 17, and this season 24 wins.
Yeah, what Rod has done there, this is one of the more difficult jobs in America, and he has done an outstanding job. I mean, Rod spent time at Kentucky as an assistant. He's been around successful programs his entire life, both in college and the NBA, and he's bringing it to LIU.
But I love the amount of perspectives he can bring. He has coached, he obviously played, he's been in an NBA front office, and now you look at taking this job, you develop a Canadian pipeline. They've got a bunch of really good Canadian players that help them win the league and get to the tournament.
Jacob. Krivas, by the way, picked up his 2nd foul moments ago. Poked away by Caleb Johnson. Shot clock at 10. You heard the whistle. And too much defense right there by Johnson. A senior from Nova Scotia, Canada. He picks up his second.
And here's Krivas again with this behind-the-back pass. Shades of Nikola Jokic.
Oh, I like that. Let's take a look at Built Better Moment, presented by Body Armor.
Well, the Arizona passing has been spectacular here this morning in San Diego. 14 assists have led to 22 made field goals, but the interior close quarters passing, those are not easy things, especially for bigs. It's been man or zone. The cut by Koa Pete, Jaden Bradley throwing it up. Arizona offensively surgical here this morning.
Bradley on top. Cutting his Burries.
Man.
We have seen it all from Braden
aspect.
Burries. We've seen him in transition. We've seen him hitting threes. Now coming off that baseline screen, a little curl into the paint. What's a little underrated for a young guy especially, he's very strong, Robbie.
Well, I want to know where these strength coaches were back in 07 when I was a freshman, because I didn't look like this.
Flying inside, Porter Brown, saved by the Sharks. Going three, no. With the rebound by Burries, Arizona's 4 freshmen outscoring LIU 40-34. The 4 freshmen were the headliners coming in for this #1 seed, chiseling his way in. Bradley knocked away, out of bounds. It goes back to Long Island University.
Well, and this is the action you're talking about here, Coach. He's just going to curl this thing. You've got Karchenkov coming off one side, Burries to the other. Get to the body of Malachi Davis, and Braden Burries on the year. 44% on shots off the bounce from 2.
I mean, I love seeing that set. We used to call it the floppy set in the NBA, and you just don't see it as much anymore. Reggie Miller, the great Reggie Miller, made a living off of that set. It's nice to see it.
Krivas picks up his 3rd foul. Bleacher Report is your one-stop destination for everything March Madness. At every moment, all tournament long, with personalized updates and highlights from your favorite teams all over the country. Download the BR app now. At the line, Mason Porter Brown with his terrific three-point shooting. One of the highlights for LIU. From 3, they've gone 6 of 7. He's got 4 of them. Free throw-wise, 3 of 5. To Arizona's 11 of 17.
And Coach, there are certainly issues with the portal, and we can get into that at another time. But one of the cool things about it is when you have guys that come from JUCO, come from D2, even D3, and get to find themselves on a stage like this. And for Mason Porter Brown, he's played really well today.
Karchenkov.
Oh, what a pass. That is not easy.
No, those little lobs can be difficult.
But not only a great pass, his patience to wait for Toby Awaka to come high to clear out the backside help to be able to make the pass. Karchenkov really understands how to play the game.
Porter Brown 3.
That's
Rebound.
his first miss that's hit the rim.
That is true.
Bradley will take it the other way. Karchenkov across the lane. Got tangled up and got it to go. Stuck with it even though there was a swarm of defenders around him.
Well, and you mentioned how well coached and the understanding that he has, coach of the game, and he is just going to make his way to this lane and make something happen. You've got Awaka ducking in once again. But for Ivan Karchenkov, played in the Bayern Munich system from 12 on, played for Pablo Lasso, the legendary coach for Madrid, now in Munich. You can see that he is well coached, and you can see on display he is a real threat in this Arizona offense, one of many.
Absolutely, and I've said this for years. I don't mean to upset anybody here in our country, but the player development, the way they do it, you've been around it, Robbie, in Europe is better than what we do here in terms of developing player skills.
Gordon got that one to go as he wheels across the lane.
Well, think about in a country like a Serbia or a France where their populations are so much smaller, but they're putting out such a large number of players.
They got it down low, and down in Awaka as he got tangled up.
Well, here's Gordon. Look, this team's been able to get in the paint today, and without Krivas in there, they're able to finish. This is their game, but the size has overwhelmed them.
But, Coach, even that shot, like Jaden Bradley is not giving up an angle. He is making Gordon score over the top of him. There's been not many easy looks at the rim for LIU today.
Caleb Johnson picked up his 3rd. Aristotle has come off the bench for Karchenkov. And trying to work here is Pete across the lane. Rebound, Arizona. And gotten by Johnson inside. Look at Gordon fly right to the hole as he slices in there for two.
But if you get Gordon going to his right hand, he's very good. Haven't seen him do much going to the left. Now, what's crazy about Gordon is he's left-handed when he shoots the ball, but almost all of his drives and finishes are with the right hand. It reminds me a little bit of Luke Kennard. Left-handed shooter, the best in the NBA, but a right-handed finisher.
Coach, and Malachi Davis kind of does the same thing. To have
even
two
more
guys
so.
like that, that's kind of strange.
And here's Gordon, again, a left-handed shooter. Watch this, though. Left to right cross all the way to the rim. No hesitation.
And a lot of speed.
Well, there's a reason that he leads the NEC in fast break per game points individually. And at 4 a game, like he is looking every time he can. He wants to push.
He's got it now. The senior from Chicago. LIU coming in, have won 5 straight, 7 of 8 and 13 of 15. Here he goes with Fuller getting 2.
But Gordon being very effective, and LIU doing a great job attacking. It's different when Krivas is not in the game. You've at least got a chance to finish, Robbie.
They're inside right here, a walkout.
Wait, Fuller not giving up an angle. You make a walk and take that shot. You'll live with that. One and done on the glass, but then you turn it over.
And that's one thing they could not do against the #1 seed. Del Orso will take it from Melbourne, Australia. Tried to blast his way in there and fouled as he went. The top 16 teams in the NHL will compete for the oldest trophy in North American sports. The Stanley Cup playoffs begin April 19th on TNT, TBS, True TV, and HBO Max. Foul, 4th one on Caleb Johnson at the line. Anthony Del Orso, a transfer from Campbell, where he was the Big South Player of the Year. And let's bring it over to Lauren.
Kevin, you talked about Jamal Fuller and Malachi Davis. They developed their chemistry when they played together at Central Tech High School in Toronto, and there's an entire Canadian contingent. You guys talked about it, right? Caleb from Nova Scotia, Shadrach from Winnipeg, and Max born in Vancouver. Jamal said he's trying to teach his other teammates that Tim Hortons is a staple, that fries require cheese curds and gravy, but then he says his teammates will ask ridiculous questions like, are there igloos in Canada? And they all just roll their eyes.
I'm sure they do. Good stuff, Warren.
Oh, that's funny.
Here's Fuller. Hand off to Gordon. He pierces and hits it.
Again, that right hand. And look, Tommy Lloyd's gone small now. Only one big in the game, which is rare for Arizona, but to try to contain penetration.
A walk ahead, it's stripped.
Greg Gordon told Lauren coming out of the half, we're not going away. We are going to keep attacking. That's been on display here.
And Gordon attacking right there, and he is 6 of 8. He's had a nice day.
Well, this is what he does. He lives in the paint and at the rim. And like Coach said, you let him get downhill to that right hand, he can make you pay for it. LIU, tough afternoon, but they're not going anywhere, playing hard to the end.
Welcome back to San Diego. Watch whip-around coverage of all men's games with Fast Break, presented by Home Depot in the March Madness Live app. Wire to wire, so far Arizona on top of LIU. You see some of the numbers. Krivas has been an interesting guy. When he was in the game, Long Island University was 1 of 10. This half, with him out of the game, LIU has gone 4 of 4.
A size makes a huge difference, especially to a team like LIU who wants to attack the basket all the time. A little easier to finish over 6'8" than to finish over 7'2".
When I think for Tommy Lloyd going forward, and obviously Arizona has done so much well today, but the fact that LIU has 9 offensive rebounds, and it's something that can certainly grab his attention going forward.
Bradley's got it after the full court pressure right there by the Sharks.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Offensive rebounding percentages matter.
No doubt.
But numbers Like, you know what you have to do to get a lot of offensive rebounds, Robbie?
Miss a lot of shots.
You have to miss a lot of shots, and LIU's missed 31 of them.
But
so.
you could also look at with the size disparity. And
You're
granted,
right.
There's a good amount of long rebounds that there have been. I totally agree with you, but I do think that when you're looking at the size profile of these two teams, I'm guessing Tommy Lloyd would say we should absolutely dominate the glass. And 11 is a big number, but I hear what you're saying.
Jason Porter-Brown picked up his second for LIU. Dwayne Aristode is at the line. He's from the Netherlands. He was a top 40 player here in the States. After playing on the Netherlands senior national team, he was a player that had a foot injury his senior year and only played a handful of games, so he didn't get the heavy recruitment.
But even with that being said, you know, he's still a top 30 player. And just to kind of have him, this freshman class for Arizona, very physically mature and ready to play. And then you combine that with the mixture of guys coming back and returning and a core from last year, and you're in business for Tommy Lloyd.
Aristode just picked up his first. What a terrific coach. 144 wins. The most in the first 5 years for a Division I coach in history.
It's incredible. There have been some good coaches in history, too, by the way.
Here's Fuller and Caleb Johnson playing in foul trouble. Corner three, Fuller, no. With the rebound, Karchenkov.
Just look at Karchenkov now. His head is up. Lost the ball there, though.
Tommy Lloyd, Lauren, is some kind of coach.
He is. He might be one of the best coaches in college basketball. But did you also know he moonlights as a DJ? You heard me at the Red Blue Showcase after party. Picture this: Shaq, Mixmaster Mike, and Tommy Lloyd on the stage. His team told him, if you're going to be a DJ, you need a DJ name. It can't be Mixmaster Mike and Tommy Lloyd. He said, all right, call me DJ Tommy. I asked how his DJ skills are. The answer, entry level, as you would imagine.
They come the other way. Porter-Brown wants to take off and does. With the steal, a nice transition.
Well, I'll tell you what. That's how LIU plays.
Yeah.
You know, they're not out in passing lanes a lot, but if you dribble that ball in the paint, they're coming after it. Look at them here just swarming.
That foul goes on Gordon, and he picks up his first.
Well, look at this. They're coming. They've got 4 guys in the paint. Get the steal and go the other way. Mason Porter-Brown, 15 points. Arizona's bench only with 13 combined. So one advantage there for LIU. Bench scoring, 19 to 13.
The bad news, Krivas coming back on the floor. We'll see if that immediately erases LIU's opportunities at the basket.
Arizona, the #1 seed. Their offense nationally 14th in scoring, 11th in shooting, but the lowest percentage, we've talked about this all afternoon, the lowest percentage of three-point shots attempted, 4th lowest in all of Division I.
But I appreciate watching them at the way they compete. And even though they're in a different weight class, when you look at Arizona warming up and you look at LIU warming up, there's a clear size differential. But they've come out here and battled. They've done that all game long.
Johnson comes up with the loose ball on the missed free throw. It's Gordon the other way.
Well, here, and the other thing is, it's been a long time since they've had to play up a level. And so it took them a long time to get going, but you can see that over time now they've adjusted and are playing better against Arizona.
Shot clock at 2. The 3 is sent. The rebound by Owaka. He's got 7.
Krivas back on the floor. You've got a Gordon drive. What happened? Kick out to the perimeter. He makes all the difference. That size inside showing itself immediately.
Well, look at Caleb Johnson trying to guard him inside. I mean,
Orso puts it up and in with a nice move. He's played every game. He averages 9, and he's got 4.
It was good to see him get that thing going in the semifinals against Iowa State. Had a monster game with 26.
Caleb Johnson 3. Rebound by Tobe Awaka. With a whistle and a foul inside on Arizona.
well, and here's Krivas' effect defensively. You see him here. He's in that drop. He retreats. And Gordon says, no, I'm not challenging him. What's the saying? Discretion is the better part of valor.
Yeah, and it's a reason why their defensive rating nationally is number 6 in the country.
Well, I think it's a great stat that teams are shooting 33% in the paint against Arizona, tops in college basketball, and only 53% at the rim. Those are outstanding numbers.
Fuller trying to drive. Goings will try to get inside the paint. Krivas is there, rips it away, gets on the floor, saves the ball, vacuums it in. Here come the Wildcats. That's a 7'2" big man flopping his way all over the floor.
Absolutely, and it started with him having to guard on the perimeter against Goings, moved his feet across the lane, and then got on the floor for the loose ball.
A walkout. Del Orso found him with a nice one.
And another duck into the middle of the floor that just absolutely obliterates the help. Krivas makes the play.
Kevin, I'm just going to tell you a couple of people, this isn't coming from me.
Right.
A couple of people out there have compared Awaka's body to mine.
What part?
See that?
What part?
I'm not saying it's true or not. Look at him run the floor.
Wow.
Krivas.
And then it's Karchenkov who finishes it off.
I'll tell you what, Krivas, we knew he was really good. He's shown some stuff today with the passing, the running, getting on the floor for the loose ball. This guy is a heck of a player. As good a big man as there is in this country, and there's some really good ones.
The Lithuanian, he's a junior for Arizona. Goings has it, and inside Gordon. Budging his way for the shot and picked up by Del Orso.
And Lithuania's got a nice history of big guys, starting with the elder Sabonis, Arvydas,
yes,
and then obviously his son. So Krivas has had plenty of guys in his home country to emulate.
Braden Burries. And Krivas retrieves. How do you stop them? I mean, it's just, you don't.
Not with the size that LIU has. And the thing with Krivas, coach, he loves that right hand, but he's got the counter as well.
Yes, he can.
Either way.
He can go to the left hand.
On the fly, Karchenkov. Then they had a couple getting his way, including Fuller. Krivas has been a marvel today.
Yes, he has. Battling on the glass, goes to the floor for the loose ball, and then this back in, he turns to the left shoulder. Great touch.
I'm Jamie Erdahl, back in New York. Now let's get ready for anything, presented by Geico. There's been 12 lead changes between Virginia and Wright State over on TBS. The Raiders have hit 10 threes, including that one from freshman Michael Cooper. It's a tie game with 12 minutes to play. Hate to see this. Second leading scorer for Iowa State, Joshua Jefferson, came down on his ankle awkwardly. He has not returned to play. That happened within the first 3 minutes of the game. Back to Kevin, Robbie, Stan, and Lauren.
Thank you for that, TJ Otzelberger, who is the coach at Iowa State, one of the best in the country.
He is, and another Big 12 team. And look, Joshua Jefferson's one of the best players in the country. Without him, their chances of making a deep run in this tournament, in my opinion, go out the window.
Well, and you talked about the Big 12. What a gauntlet that league is at the top. they just, man, you win that league like Arizona did. You totally earned that thing.
C.D. Gay is checked in, the freshman from Senegal. Here is Koa Pete maneuvering.
Well, I'll tell you, that Iowa State game in the semifinals of the Big 12 tournament
high level
is one of the best basketball games at any level that I've ever seen. That was just, as you said, high-level basketball.
Burries the other way. He's got 18. He leads all scorers in the game.
Well, and what I love, I said it earlier, is when Daniels is out of the game, Burries can play the point. A lot what we've seen from Devin Booker over his career, a scoring two who can play the point as needed.
Del Orso puts it in.
He's been aggressive at trying to get to the rim here today. Known as that three-point shooter, but he's put it on the floor.
Caleb Johnson went to the rack, got the two, fouled on the play.
I'll tell you, Rod Strickland's team is fearless.
And they've been fun to watch, even though clearly this has been a very tough afternoon.
They've left it on the floor. This is what they want to do. And it's just hard when you're going up against Arizona, who also wants to get out and go. You get into a track meet with these guys, it could be a tough afternoon. But LIU, they're opportunistic. And when they've gotten stops, they've looked to run.
So at the free throw line, Caleb Johnson, C.D. Gay will pick up his first foul. So we've seen other number ones stagger a bit, not this number one here.
I think some of that is, for one, how good Arizona is, and that's nobody is surprised by that. But also just in what LIU does well, doesn't exactly play well in this game because you're playing into the hands of the Arizona Wildcats.
Well, and we're seeing it. We just got the update on the Wright State-Virginia game. Wright State making a bunch of threes.
Right.
That's generally the great equalizer when the other team is physically bigger and faster. We're not going to have that in a game like this.
Del Orso. Karchenkov, three. No. Gay had a hand on it, but picked up by Fuller and down court to Gordon, and they're going to fire here. Goings triple. And Gay's got it. Pete. And Del Orso. The look away and broken up on the play nicely by Caleb Johnson. 5:01 to go here in San Diego. Johnson picks up number 5. He's gone for the Sharks. Secrets, sparks, and sibling showdowns. Wow, this season, the Plath family is breaking rules and going after what they want. Who would expect anything less? Will it drive one person to finally say goodbye? Welcome to Plathville. New season, Tuesday, March 31st. At 10, 9 Central on TLC.
Wow, your enthusiasm. You must watch that show. Because,
watch it.
Oh, okay. I mean, because the enthusiasm.
Watch it twice.
Wow.
Right. Well, your promo reads, Kevin, today have been on point.
Pete's at the line. And they're going to go back to the bench. Here comes Davis. He'll take the plays of Jomo Goings for the Sharks. They've had some really terrific defensive numbers, too. We've seen it here. They're 14th in the country in steals in Division I, and the Sharks are 10th in block shots. So this is a team that has relied on a lot of different things, but including some things inside for an undersized team as they try to swing it around and they get it off to Davis.
Well, and they're playing today against a team as good as anyone in the country, and they have 6 steals and 5 blocks against Arizona.
Porter Brown could not get that 3 to go down. And he was pushed on the play. LIU and Arizona have squared off once before. Let's go back to 1951. The Wildcats upset the number 2 ranked LIU Blackbirds at the time, 62-61. LIU is led by the Hall of Fame coach Claire B. We mentioned his name back in the first half. Arizona's Jerry Dillon hit the game-winning free throw with less than 15 seconds remaining, with Shadrach Lasso at the free throw line from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and gets the first to roll in.
This is the first, I've got to be honest. Shadrach Lasso is the first guy that I know of from Manitoba, Canada.
To be a player?
A player, yes. From Manitoba.
Not exactly a hotspot of
most of the players you're getting from Canada.
Or Toronto, right?
Yeah.
Toronto and Montreal has
Sure.
really come on. And then we had, you know, Steve Nash from out west. But Manitoba, I don't remember seeing high-level players from Manitoba.
But now you're going to get our guys working on that, because I'm sure there has been at least one. But
okay, you're probably right.
What is the biggest city in Manitoba? Is it Calgary?
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg is, yeah.
Okay. My
Calgary's
Canadian,
in Alberta.
my Canadian
Calgary's in Alberta, for God's
I
sake.
know where Toronto is, Montreal, but Vancouver, then it starts to get a little fuzzy.
Yeah, with Karchenkov at the free throw line, and the foul went on Gordon for the second time.
Well, but I will say
this is not the crew to start talking
Should not
geography.
have asked.
No.
That was my bad.
I guarantee you that.
But the bigger picture, Canada, one of many countries that we see all kinds of Canadian players now, including the
Well, look at their national team.
recent MVP.
Yeah, their national team is just filled with NBA players.
is.
Toronto
Great players.
has exploded as a hotbed for hoops.
Evan Nelson has checked in, the transfer from Harvard. He wears number 21 for the Wildcats. He has come in as they're going deep on their bench. Arizona is the #1 seed with the work here of Fuller on that baseline, out of bounds, 19 on the shot clock.
I love that Evan Nelson's on this team. You know, had a good career at Harvard, but he's
a captain
from Tucson and has gotten to come back and see this Arizona team. What a year to come back. Just a good locker room guy.
Trying to swerve inside was Fuller, and then knocked away by C.D. Gay. Played for Real Madrid.
Well, his season kind of got off to a rocky start. Only got there end of August because of a visa issue. You think about a guy that needs the time in the weight room and certainly has a lot of potential.
Well, and he also got stuck behind.
And you're playing behind
great big guys.
That's very true, too.
Gordon kicks it out, and Fuller will hoist a 3. And there's Nelson with the rebound, like we said, at Harvard. Played there 3 years. 2-time captain, and he's got it now.
Never easy either to come in the game and get picked up 94. You know, Porter Brown's just sitting on that thing trying to get a steal.
Off-balance shot by Anthony Del Orso, and it went on astray, and a whistle with a foul. Our clock at 3.5 in the second half. The 1 against the 16. You're watching the NCAA tournament on TNT. Del Orso at the free throw line. 3:37 to go, and #1, Arizona, the top seed in the West, is zeroing in on their 33rd win of the season. They come in 32-2. They began 23-0, lost 2 in a row, and then have rattled off all these wins. It's the longest streak with those 23 wins to begin the season. That was the longest streak, tied with Baylor in Big 12 basketball history. They really got out of the blocks quickly. With this kind of team, you can see why. And they were a preseason pick #4 in the conference, which is even more surprising.
Well, I think that's because you never know how good those freshmen are going to be. We've seen it today. Those 3 starting freshmen, 47 points, 22 rebounds, and 8 assists.
Lasso 3, hits it.
And he has shot it at a pretty good percentage, low volume, but a good percentage on the year for Lasso.
If he could have made a couple of those early, maybe they could have pulled Krivas away from the basket a little bit, and maybe Krivas wouldn't have the 4 blocks.
But you think about it, Coach, they did make 5 threes in the first half. They only averaged 6 a game. The problem was when they got to the paint, which is where they want to be, there was nothing easy there.
Addison Arnold is in. He was making a move right there. Where's number 22? He's got a terrific history, the sophomore. There he is. His dad played college basketball at Arizona State. He was and at UC San Diego. So, so he's at the line right now. And at one time, he was the head coach at Hawaii.
Okay, now wait a minute, though.
No, and that's where the story ends. As we
no, wait a minute. I don't, on these rivalries, you can't have your dad be at Arizona State and then you go to Arizona. I mean, that just, wow. Has to be more to that story, Kevin.
I'll tell you what else. He's 4 of 4 from the free throw line this entire season. He just knocked down a couple right there.
So he leads the nation. At least tied.
He's as good as there is. That's right. No one better.
That's not, if you're not, now granted, Arizona's played a bunch of blowout games, but if you're just getting in at the end and you've been sitting over there for a couple hours, that's not exactly easy to do.
Sven Jacmo is checked in. He's from France for Arizona State. Gordon, the fake, the feed, the knockaway. Aristo the other way to the hole.
Well, I'll tell you what is great about some of this on both sides. A lot of guys are getting a chance to play in an NCAA tournament game.
Absolutely.
And it's something they will remember their entire lives.
Well said, Coach. Here's Nelson. He just bounced it away, hit his foot of the opposing player. That was Porter Brown.
When Braden Burries, he got it going early and often in this one. As Coach said earlier, showed off all 3 levels from 3 at the rim from the mid-range. You can play him on the ball, you can play him off the ball. But first team all Big 12 on the year, and it's been on display all afternoon long here in San Diego.
Greg Gordon has just checked out of the game for the Sharks. Terrific player. Gay trying to work into Fuller with ease. He's 6'11", he's a freshman. And he's got the length of arms that do not stop.
Oh, it's like they're six big, and he's just come in here and protected the rim and scored. And
done a nice job.
Arizona just an embarrassment of riches in their front court.
Fuller inside, pulled the trigger and works around Arnold for 2 and a foul.
That's great execution there by LIU. Pass ahead and then back to the roller to the rim. Outstanding offensive execution.
And deep right here.
And then Fuller really strong inside.
When you think about that angle, Coach, it's so much easier if you hit ahead and then hit the roller versus that guard coming off. That's a tough angle. But you got to have a guy that's willing to give up the assist and be the hockey assist.
So this regular season champion, Long Island University, regular season and conference tournament champion. And they're playing Twister on the floor, and coming up with it is Nelson. They've had some kind of season. 3.
It's only their 3rd three-point attempt of the second half, and they haven't made one.
It's the first regular season title for the Sharks of Long Island University since 2012, 14 years, and they have the most overall wins in 14 seasons, and his fingerprints, the great Rod Strickland's fingerprints all over it.
Well, and they should be so proud of their season, to win the regular season, to win the tournament championship. You know, even though Mercyhurst wasn't eligible, that semifinal game, that's as much pressure as you will ever feel on a floor to play your way into this tournament. They've had a phenomenal season, 24 wins, nothing to hold your head low about with this one here.
Not at all, Robbie, and I thought they showed great character in that championship game because they didn't have to win it, but you could tell how much it meant to them to not only win that tournament, but to not have an asterisk by their name.
Totally.
Got a lot of new players in the contest. 3 right there is good. Set up by Eddie Munyak. This is only the 2nd game the sophomore from Huntington, New York has played all season long. 2nd game, he's in the tournament, just knocked in a triple.
Kevin, he's getting a little emotional. What a shot for him to come in the game and immediately cash out off the glass.
Isn't it fun?
And the entire bench was up. The entire bench very happy for Eddie.
Lost it right there and out of bounds. Also in Max and Lovu Frazier.
There it is. And he called this, by the way. I heard him over here.
He'll remember that for a lifetime. I mean, this is the beauty of this tournament. Some kid's playing the final game. Now, he's a sophomore, but look at that. Look, just think how often he has probably dreamt of that moment.
Absolutely. A kid's gone to practice every day, all year, not played, and he gets that chance. He'll never forget that, ever.
And the #1 Arizona Wildcats advance. And now they await the winner of Villanova, Utah State. It's Arizona's largest margin of victory in an NCAA tournament game since 1998. We'll be back to San Diego to wrap things up on TNT right after this. Sunday, Arizona will play the winner of Villanova, Utah State. Lauren is with the winning coach, Tommy Lloyd of the Wildcats.
Coach, congratulations. We know about the talent. What can you say about the depth? It was everyone today.
Yeah, I mean, with us, we're an us team, an us program. Things are always better when we're all contributing. And, you know, I thought we had a few lulls in the game, but most of all, I thought the guys came out in this setting and got us off to a good start.
I mean, you've had a clear identity since day one, despite so many freshmen playing so many minutes. How?
Well, we talk about it a lot. I mean, identity's important. Your identity and your values matter, and you got to honor those on a daily basis.
What's with the towels? So many of them. Why am I not getting any?
Hey, these guys are a little, I mean, they make fun of their coach a little bit too much, but that's why I love them.
You like breakfast basketball. That's what it is. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Kevin.
That's your Big 12 Coach of the Year and a #1 seed in the West. Tournament games continue live on CBS, TBS, and True TV. Utah State against the Wildcats of Villanova. Coming up next, right here on TNT. We'll send you to our studio for Capital One Tournament Central. After these messages, it's all Arizona leading wire to wire and beating LIU 92-58.